Your eyes and ears do not deceive you. This is the first exclusive look at the newly added minigun to the finals in Season 6, and it is an absolute threadripper. Even during some of this gameplay, I do kind of feel like Embark has really given Heavy that kind of true companion in the arena. And even you TF2 players, for example, Team Fortress 2, you will kind of feel a little bit of that nostalgia hit coming back in as well using this weapon. I'll say out of the gate, it is an effective weapon at close to medium range, and if you wanted to, let's say, compare it to the minigun from TF2, this weapon in the finals is stronger, has a bit of a better range, it sounds better as well, and finally, it just looks absolutely amazing. As for the new light weapon, the ARN, I guess a good explanation for it is it kind of feels really buttery smooth to shoot it. I think if you are someone that has come from playing a lot of hours in the XP54, for example, then you're going to feel pretty damn good having a bit more freshness and uniqueness getting back into your arsenal with a brand new design in this one. It has a new, faster dual mag. So essentially how this ARN works is that there is an indication on the right side of your UI, and that is essentially showing you which mag that you currently have. Then, when you shoot, let's say, 1 bullet to reload, if you've used your first mag, you can reset your magazine count so that you can always have a faster reload option before you fight. The sound of the weapon being added with the ARN does kind of have those similarities to the other weapons, for example, the M11 on light, or even the V9S as well. But I will say that the damage output itself and the recoil control that you can have with this weapon really kind of add into the mix, allowing its debut into the finals to be a kind of silent but deadly one. Finally, the CB repeater. Now, if you guys don't know, I've been asking for a bolt action rifle being added into this game for such a long time now. Maybe something along the lines of, let's say, a Mosin or a Kar 98, right? Something along those lines where you're going to have that high risk, high reward play for medium. But the compromise to that, though, is Embark adding a lever action rifle. And I'm going to say, it is perfect. Okay, it's perfect for medium mains, no one else. Okay, so what I mean by that is that I'll admit first that it's quite strong, okay? This can 2-shot lights, 3-shot mediums, and I think 5-shot heavies. The 5-shot heavies is not that bad, to be fair, but, you know, if that's to the chest. But if you compare it to, let's say, a weapon like the Pike, right? Another weapon on medium, which is actually a semi-automatic rifle, you know, the shooting rate of the Pike being a little bit faster still makes this new repeater stronger and better in my opinion. I will say that I do think that it is valid to criticize how strong this weapon is going to be against the light players, and one of my concerns actually for this weapon being added is going to initially be how strong it is, and players switching over from the kind of change right now. If you don't know, we have currently heavy, medium, light being the most chosen 3 contestants in ranked, but I think that this weapon will kind of tip those scales back to what we had previously, and people will start potentially running back to triple medium once again, just because of how effective this weapon is. Now, it's not going to spoil anything. I am still giving Embark the benefit of the doubt, though, because, you know, balancing overall has been moving towards a better direction, in my opinion. You know, the new announcement, obviously, that will help a lot is having more frequent updates as well in Season 6 compared to what we had in Season 5, where we had to wait a long time for things to happen. And honestly, I think that we can all agree that for the first week or so, I don't mind these weapons being strong, especially when they're released, just so that people can try it out and have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, sure, maybe after they've gotten their data after a week of seeing how players are using these weapons, then yeah, maybe they can tone it down. I'd understand nerfs in that region there, but for now, I am a little bit concerned about the CB repeater. Moving on to Las Vegas, you've already probably seen the clips as well from the new videos released about what it looks like and the design philosophy around Las Vegas, but I really think that you won't actually notice it until you head in towards the arena yourself and really kind of check around and try it out. There's a lot of differences that you can kind of see in this map compared to the original, which is really trying to escape away from that kind of claustrophobic feeling that Las Vegas previously presented, with a lot of the slot machines, for example, taking up the space. Speaking of maps as well, we also have an expansion on the new maps in the game. So if you don't know, Team Deathmatch is becoming a permanent mode in the finals, which is insane. Team Deathmatches have been a great addition. There are some things that I would criticize about Team Deathmatch personally, but you know what? For it being added into the game for now, at least we have a Team Deathmatch mode, and I'm loving it. So it actually has now support on additional maps. So we have Skyway Stadium, Sis Horizon, Seoul, Fortune Stadium, Kyoto, and the new Las Vegas Stadium. Insane. And thanks to Embark Ma and my sneaky little side deal. If you guys are from my community, you know what I'm talking about. This is probably already coming, but we actually now have an expansion on the Powershift map, now playable on Banal and Las Vegas Stadium 2. So this is super sick. As well, the new additions to the sites is probably one of the biggest surprises for players as well, with a total of 6 now being able to be applied to most weapons. This is a really nice expansion on the options that players are allowed to use. Of course, heading over to the skins and cosmetics for the game, the Battle Pass this season doesn't disappoint. I mean, look, there's a damn gamer RGB skin for the repeater, which actually reacts to the buttons that you're pressing at the same time as well. And there's also just new emotes, which kind of have insane levels of depth to you. There's the one with the screen, and you can see the victory with the player fighting on there. And then of course there are plenty of new animations which you can equip towards some of your favorite weapons in the finals as well, just to kind of spice things up again. Season 6 really presents it all in this area. And I will say, whilst I do like the store, I do kind of feel like the store is a bit overwhelming with all the options that it is offering to the player. Maybe they could chop off some of the ends, because I feel like as soon as you click the store, it's like a slap in the face with everything that they're offering, right? But it is a little bit nicer than the previous one. What I really like about the store is this new header at the top, which kind of allows you to see either some videos of the promotion of the new skins or bundles, or also just kind of the overview of the battle passes you can see on screen. As well, there's so many as wells this season, it's crazy. Outfit customizations, okay? This has also been added into the game, as promised, of course, all the way back from the Reddit AMA. And again, what other game offers this? And I know probably someone's going to say, wait, this game, okay, fine. All right, I get it. Yeah, you can say I don't know, The Sims 4, okay? But, in all seriousness, I really mean, what, in-depth quality of life changes have we seen before in other games? I don't really know, unless it's some major updates after a few years or so. These devs move so damn quickly with this game. Also, for private matches, okay, this is what I love the most, is that we've had a massive expansion on the options offered to players now in the private matches. So if you don't know, previously I did criticize Embark a bit. I said that it was one of the worst private match experiences that we've had as players in a long time in any other FPS game, but I did have faith in them that they would actually improve it, and they've gone ahead and done this so damn well so far. So you can now select sub options within the game's lobby, and essentially that's going to provide you the ability to customize the game's experience tailored on what you may want. It's not super in-depth yet, right? So you're not able to, let's say, customize the match length or the coin amounts you have and things like that, but as a base, being able to customize what map you're playing on, what time of day you're playing on, and what event is going to be in the game too, this is a really nice update, and I'm super happy with these changes. That's not all though. The UI screen in the private matches have also been given a refresh as well. And in this scenario, when players join your lobby, you're actually given this nice UI option where you can actually drag those players into a team that you'd want, or even a spectator slot, and basically rearrange them as well if you need to. And the colors as well, by the way, will also always stay the same. So for example, the team at the very top, they will always be the orange team with the team name as well. And yes, unfortunately, you can't change the team name yet in the game. I don't know why. Maybe there's some certain reasons and things that you want to be cautious about. However, this is a really nice step forward, and it's really, really good. Okay, and also one of the biggest changes so far in the finals history that they can offer to tournament organizers is a brand new spectator mode. And this is honestly very, very close, I think, to being probably one of the best spectator modes offered in any FPS game. Firstly, you're now easily able to rebind all of the spectator keys that you wish, tailored to things such as your current setup. Maybe you have some special keyboards and things like that you might have, as long as it's coming from a keyboard input. I don't know if there are any special inputs that you can put in towards the finals menu, but let's say if it's an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, 1 to 9, whatever, as long as it's an actual keyboard input key, you can actually rebind that as well, which is super sick. And what's insane about this new spectator mode is the different types of camera options they now offer to your experience. First of all, we have the obvious first-person camera experience, and again, that's just similar to things before, but this time you're now allowed to bind, so you can press 1 to minus as the default keys and switch to players instantly whilst you're doing the spectating. But during this, and any of the other cameras that I'll talk about, by the way, you now have an X-ray button as well. And And this X-ray button is sick because it allows you to display to the user watching your matches the specialization that they have and the health bar for the other players too. And by the way, don't worry if you're interested, I will be doing a deeper guide for tournament organizers or anyone else looking to make stuff on the finals on how to use the spectator mode in depth with a couple of extra tricks too. However, whilst you're in the first person camera, if you scroll your mouse wheel down, and this is super sick, it actually gives you access to the second camera that we'll talk about, which is called the follow camera. This follow camera gives you a really nice tracking camera behind a player of your choice, a few meters away, and you can even change the distance of the meters as well. Okay, now finally the fly camera, and this I'm actually so excited to tell you guys about because it is just absolutely amazing. Again, thank you so much to the dev team for putting this type of tech in the game and actually putting some love in towards spectating too. We promise to return the favor for you with some events that we're having, but the fly camera is essentially able to let you to fly around, right? We had that previously. It was like a free cam and you can have your own different angles and things like that. But these new features now allow you to set up specific spots which you can reference to later to come back to whilst you're using another camera mode. So for example, whilst you're in free cam, head to a spot and then set up an angle that you'd want to do. Hold Alt and then a key on your numpad, let's say Alt numpad 1, and what you'll be able to do is save that spot for a reference for the camera to remember later. So, let's say you have the spot saved in the map on Fortune Stadium, you go off and you're spectating a game, and then there's a really nice scene that you want to pull, to combine with the scene that you've set up with the camera slot earlier. You click numpad 1 instead, and it will instantly snap to that view. And this is just absolutely insane. And on top of that, which is even crazier, is that it actually remembers those binds that you've set up. So you can go into a match with a couple of your friends, set up all these camera angles that you want for later references, then go into a completely new match, and it will remember on each map that you've set those cameras that you want to do. This blows my damn mind. How have you done this, Embark? And at the time of writing this review for Season 6, I will say that unfortunately a little bit of a big miss is that there is not currently any kill feed or UI options added into the game so far for spectating mode. But don't worry, specifically related to the kill feed, I did speak to the team about this, and they do obviously have plans to update this at some point during Season 6. They have a couple of ideas on how they can improve that experience for spectators. I don't know exactly when. I would probably say maybe around about halfway, maybe a little bit after halfway. I don't want to talk on their behalf, so please don't hold me to that, but it is something that is coming at some point in the future. Okay, so he was also given like a work in progress balance update to certain weapons too. I can't promise that this is like the final set in stone until it's actually written on the patch notes itself, but some of the biggest changes I actually wanted to read live with you right now whilst we were recording, so let's go ahead and run through it. Okay, so balance changes first of all for the APS turret. They've decreased damage taken per projectile destroyed from 40% of total health to 31.25, meaning a full health APS can now block 4 projectiles instead of 3 before dying. And that's actually a pretty decent change. I remember that actually a lot of people were kind of like concerned about how the APS turret had been switched to then taking damage for it on each projectile given to it. And I think that's actually a pretty decent positive change. People overreacted back then, including myself. But in this case here, I think giving it a little bit more of a buff in that sense, I think that's fine, especially for things like Powershift. Next up, the Data Reshaper has had a decreased ammo count from 3 to 2. That's interesting because I don't notice that Data Reshapers have been a bit of a problem, so I guess I haven't really used it myself. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that too. The Glitch Grenade, this is a big one. They've decreased the fuse time from 1.8 seconds to 1.5, and that was actually one of the biggest concerns that I think a lot of players had, or the biggest complaints I would say the biggest players had with the Glitch Grenade, is that when you throw it, the fuse time of it just takes too long. So it's kind of like you have to get yourself in a nice range at all times before you can even throw it. Some people are asking for it to be an impact instead, but you know what? Down from 1.8 to 1.5 is a decent step in the right direction. Probably not going to be massively noticeable for many of the players, but hey, any buff is a buff. Gravity Vortex increased the max duration of the vortex from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. Wow. Increased the minimum duration of the vortex from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. Okay. Decreased the maximum throw distance by nearly half, okay. Decreased throw velocity, okay. Increased projectile gravity modifier, giving the projectile a slightly steeper arc. Okay, so they've given a bit of a buff to the gravity vortex. I think that the problem with light is that it has so many things as standard that you should be having on your light contestant. For example, glitch grenade, stun gun whilst it was there. I would argue goo grenade as well recently, potentially, depending on your style of play for light, the invis grenade. Also as well, you know, you're thinking about the data reshape, the gateway, goddammit. So, you know, those things there are like, that's standard pretty much for light. So a lot of people probably weren't using the gravity vortex as much. But hey, a big buff there, actually, to be fair, for the gravity vortex. Tracking darts, they've increased the tracking duration on targets from 10 to 13 seconds. That's goddamn annoying with the damn detected. And Embark, please let us remove the damn detected. It's making me lose my mind. Specializations, cloaking device, increase cloak max blend, making cloak players more visible. They've increased a delay before transitioning into cloak, making players disappear slower. Wow, and they've also increased the first-person cloak modifier. So they've actually gone for a massive nerf here. Well, I say a massive nerf. A bit of a nerf here on the cloaking device. The big one is actually the delay before transitioning. Before, there was no delay before transitioning. It'll be instant, but now it's half a second. So it's going to be making them disappear slightly slower, so we'll see how that happens. Oh, the winch claw has been reverted with the range. They've increased the max range here from 10 meters to 12 meters. They've added the scaling of stun duration based on the distance to the target player, meaning long hooks stun for longer than short range hits. That's pretty interesting. I'll take that. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. Increased maximum stun duration on targets that hit max range for a little bit. Added minimum stun duration of 0.3 seconds. Oh, wow. So a minimum 3 meters or less at 0.3 seconds. Damn. Okay. Winch Claw stun effect impacts weapons and gadgets only, not specializations. Wow. Okay. Charge and slam is a huge counter to Winch Claw, because it doesn't affect specializations. So, yo, if you guys are a heavy user for charge, you guys are probably smiling right now, because that is massive. I don't know what other specializations might help out. Maybe dematerialize if you can get out of it. I don't know what else. Let's see. Weapons. CR40, they've increased the size of the inner blast radius from 30 to 60, meaning it now should be easier to do maximum damage. There's some evil smiles out there as well. They've also increased the speed of the grenade projectile. Wow. They've increased the speed of it by 35 to 42. Okay. And decreased the projectile gravity modifier, giving projectile a slightly flatter arc. Damn. Okay. Oh no, is that a dagger buff? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Increased damage of regular attacks from 50 to 60. Increase the damage of non-backstab secondary attacks from 50 to 75. Damage of backstab secondary attacks remains at 3 tyranny damage. Damn though. There's a bit of a dagger player buff there as well. Interesting. FGAR buff. Decreased recoil intensity for bullets 5 to 7 in a firing sequence, making the weapons slightly more stable. Damn, that's big for the FGAR. There's going to be a lot of people either going to be using the FGAR or the repeater this season. That is big. KS-23 decreased pump action duration, allowing the gun to fire faster. This change increases the fire rate from 73 to 85. Damn, okay. There's been some buffs. The LH1 also has been nerfed. Decreased damage from 46 to 40. Again, it was getting a lot, you know, creeping along those lines of being quite strong, but 46 to 40, again, you're going to be having, what, 6, 12, 18 less damage when taking your shots from 3 bullets for the LH1. You know, onwards as well, so that's not bad. The M11, increased damage fall off max range, giving the weapon a slightly longer effective range. Decreased damage fall off multiplier, meaning the weapon now does slightly less damage at range. Okay, so it's effective at a longer range, but the damage that it deals is less. Interesting. M60, increased damage from 19 to 20. Okay. Increased damage fall off max range from 32 to 35, giving it a longer. Yes, Embark giving range. Thank you, Embark. The range chat. I'm not gonna, oh, did I say chat? I'm sorry. I said chat. It feels like I'm streaming. Sorry. Guys, anyone watching right now, the thing that annoyed me so much about the finals is the range was so damn annoying. And yeah, it's only 3 meters, but I just like having a bit of range for my weapons. And this is really nice for the M60. They've also increased the damage fall off multiplier. I mean, it does slightly more damage at range too. Damn. The Pike 556 being given a little bit of a nerf, is this? Let's see. Decreased damage fall off minimum range from 50 to 45, giving the weapon a slightly shorter effective range. Okay, and they've decreased the damage fall off, giving the weapon a slightly shorter effective range there too. Okay. I mean, the Pike was quite strong in that regard, but I mean, I do like long-range rifles, so I mean, that's just me being biased. Decreased damage fall off multiplier from 0.576 when the weapon now does slightly less damage at range. Okay, you know what? It's annoying, but I'll take that. Okay, I like dealing damage at range. All right, but you know what? I'll take it. As someone who did play the Pike a little bit before I closed up season 5. It's okay, but these nerfs are not going to make me too concerned. Honestly, it's no damage nerf, so it's all good. The SA-1216. Oh, this shotgun has been nerfed so many times. And here we have decreased pellet count from 13 to 12. Decreased the total damage per shot from 78 to 72. Increased damage fall off max minimum range given opponents, so it's slightly effective longer at both ranges. Okay, so not the end of the world, but it's like a little bit of a slap once again, right, for the SA-12 users. But I think the effective range is actually pretty damn cool here too. So maybe they wanted the shotgun to have a longer range, but the compromise for that is to make it deal less damage. I don't know. Next up. Oh wait, adjust the size of the pattern pellet slightly, choose extra. Okay, cool. And finally, the XP54, increased damage from 16 to 17. There it is. The XP is now actually going to be in contest with the ARN. They've also increased the damage fall off minimum range, giving the weapon slightly effective, slightly a longer effective range. Same for the fall off max range too, and the decreased damage fall off. I mean, it does slight. Okay, so basically, again, for a lot of these changes here, they've increased the range of the weapons, but some of them deal less damage at the range it does. Right, so I don't know what increased effectiveness means, but it does less damage. I don't know like what that really means because I'm uneducated and dumb. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. But hey, those are the balance changes so far, and I think that that's all pretty damn good. So I guess I'll summarize this video then. So I think that even though we don't have a new map this season, I think that from all these things here, and I'm gonna go for the full screen here. I'm using OBS Live, right? It's my terrible production right now. So I think to summarize, even though we don't have a new map this season, I think the finals has kind of given the reason why, right? Mbox given the reason why. There's a lot of things that have been happening that they've been coding in out of game that have probably taken so damn long, again, with all those different features that we've just covered, and I think that this is actually pretty fine. At some point, it does get to the point where you're like, unless you're rotating maps out, right, you're vaulting maps and things like that, then it's kind of like, hey, do we really need more maps? I think we have a decent base covered so far for us to not really need to complain too hard. But on the other angle of this, though, as well, I will say, it is a little bit disappointing, okay, that we don't have any new gadgets or specializations, right? Specializations has not been added into the game for a long time, and it would keep the game a little bit more fresh and new. But it's not the end of the world, okay? I'm not going to ask for specializations this season or gadgets this season because I've seen all of the stuff here now in the background that has been added. But maybe next season we get a little bit of a nod towards some different things. I feel like it would be kind of nice to have a bit more of refreshers and update in this. But hey, I think Season 6 is going to be really fun. It's going to be a good time. And one of the things that I'm looking for as well is like, hey, how they keep adding and keep improving the game, and they keep working on it, and these devs are so damn cool and inspiring. I mean, I'm here right now, by the way, if you don't know. I'm actually at Embark right now. I'm in Oscar's streaming room. I changed the setup and stuff a little bit to make it look a little bit nicer, even though there's a light like right there in my face. Oh my god. But yeah, anyway, it's super cool, and honestly, I think that again, this is the reason why I love the finals, because I know that this game will improve over time. Guys, that's pretty much everything for Season 6. Go ahead and go out there and enjoy it. Thank you so much for Embark for inviting me to the closed preview press event as well. I really appreciate it. And as always, guys, my name's Styx, and I'll see you on the podium.